Back again with another quick video. This video has been on me for a while to make. A lot of people are asking about zombies. I don't know what's the big infatuation with zombies. And by the voice on the phones, and I can tell by some of the texts and stuff, they're probably young people. The zombies of voodoo old, of Haitian voodoo old, New Orleans voodoo old, is not the same zombies of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Twilight of the Dead, Resident Evil. This was brought on to a person as revenge. Zombie voodoo of Haitian old, a Bokor prepare the zombie powder, the coup pout, or coup powder, the powder strike, onto an individual that either was caught sleeping with another man's wife, stole somebody's property, stole their animal, some of their livestock. It would be introduced to them. They would fall and when checked would have no responses that nobody could see, no heartbeat, no respiration. They was pronounced dead, into the coffin, into the grave. There wasn't these long drawn out ceremonies. One, because in Haiti, as it is in New Orleans, the heat and humidity, and I'm here to tell you from past experience, finding a body that's 2 days old, in the heat of the summer and humidity, that body has already started to bloat and decompose. So you got rid of the bodies quickly. The powder only lasts 10 to 12 hours on a person. Now during that time, you can hear, if your eyes are open, you can see. Feeling pain or something like that, I don't know about. I don't think nobody ever came back and said they felt pain. But they knew what was going on. They knew they was in a coffin. They knew they was being lowered in the grave. They could hear the dirt on top of the grave. That's a soul ring effect. All right? You feel the cold of the grave, you feel the cold of the coffin. The Bokor would come at night and wait until he started hearing movement and dig you out. When you first sat up to take your first breath, he would introduce another narcotic mix. It's a whitish yellowish paste after it's all done. Basically, it's a narcotic. It makes you susceptible to suggestion. You'll be taken out of the coffin. The Bokor will begin to whip you with a whip to let you know who the boss is from now on. Now, you would remain in this state as long as that narcotic is introduced to you. I think you had to be fed it once a day or twice a day, and the more you got fed, the more it lasts. Now, you remained a work slave until the Bokor died or moved on, and as long as that poison or narcotic was not introduced to you, it began to wear off. That's why there are a lot of reports in Haiti of people who had been buried coming back, walking to the village years later, and everybody's shocked that we buried you. There's a well-known thing, Narcisse. I can't remember his first name. Clement Narcisse, I think. That happened to him. They put him in a grave. The people at the hospital remember signing him off as dead and burying him. The Bokor went back and raised him. He did something to the family. And after the Bokor died, he wandered back into his village. You can look online for that. I can't remember his first name. Clarice Narcisse. That's documented. When the slaves came from Haiti through the Caribbean into the port of New Orleans and into the sugarcane plantations here in New Orleans, things had to be tweaked. They didn't have no longer the puffer fish, the stinging toad, the stinging sea worm, the zombie cucumber. But the Bokors found out there's a species of garfish that's in the swamps that has the same kind of toxin in them as the puffer fish. There's a toad in the bayous and the swamps that has the same almost kind of poison as the bufo toxin that the frogs of the Caribbean have. So they had to tweak this up. Now they didn't make work slaves. Why? Simply because we hadn't won our freedom. We're still slaves here. We're still working the cane fields. Okay? Why are you going to make a work slave? Why? So this was done for revenge to someone that did something grievous. The two reports that my great-grandfather wrote down, I called in his grimoire, was to a walking boss or an overseer who derived pleasure from pain. It was said that he would go up to somebody that was working in the fields, cutting the cane, getting it ready to get on the carts to go to the sugar mills, and would start whipping them for no reason, laughing the whole time. There was an account of him riding up on the side of a very young black woman who was carrying her basket full of the cane stubs, what we call, pulled out his big dragoon pistol, shot, and kept riding off. What put the frosting on the cake was this man threw a rope around a young black man, about 10 or 12 years old, I think it was written, and drug him down the fields until he died behind a horse. Now imagine yourself as a parent, you're a father, and you're watching this. You're watching your child die in front of you. Nothing that you could do except stop this man, which would cause your death and your child's death and probably the rest of your family's death. The Bokor was brought in. It was introduced to the walking boss, and he fell off the horse in the field. They put him back on the horse, and Herb got into the main house and told the owner. The walking boss was on the horse. He collapsed. He hit the ground. We don't know if he was hurt when he hit the ground or he passed out from the heat. The family doctor would come, pronounce him dead. Once again, in the heat, all the ceremony and stuff was around the grave, not in the churches like we have today. There wasn't no wakes or anything like that into the ground. Difference is there wasn't a Bokor waiting for your ass to wake up. You knew what was going on. You could hear, you could see. You knew you was being lowered in the grave, 6 feet down. When you woke up screaming and yelling inside the coffin, there was nobody there to rescue you. Nobody was going to make you a work slave. Everything evil that you did came back all of a sudden on you. The more you screamed, the more you kicked, the more air you used, you died quickly. All right? It was used as a punishment here. Things had to be changed. As the girl said in the old movie, we're not in Kansas no more, Toto. Okay? So that is about what the slaves are, what the zombies were here. Okay? The fascination that's going on now with zombies, and I'm surprised at it because you watch it, sometimes some young white guys in the truck got zombie response team on the back. You got to be careful what you're wishing for, because there may be some very, very intelligent young person, some part of the world that's sitting down who's off bubble up here and is trying to design a virus to do that. I don't know why you're wishing for that, okay? There was 2 instances a few years ago in Miami, and it was called the MacArthur Causeway Cannibal. And then another one about 3 or 4 weeks after, just outside the city of Miami. Rudy Eugene was the first one that ate the guy's face. Took all his clothes off, attacked this man, the police had to shoot him. I mean, he was like a feral animal. The second was the same thing, man walking with no clothes on, attacked a young girl by a house, the brother came out, got the man off, the daddy had to come out, they called the police, and it's on TV, Zombies in America or something, and they got a short video of the policeman standing there, the man's buck naked, the policeman standing there telling him to stop, stop, he charged her, pop, pop, pop. To me, this is my thing, that was a young Bokor in Miami, a young Bokor that was sharpening his skills, that tweaked the old zombie powder into something like this. The toxicology on both of these guys came back negative, nothing. Rudy Eugene had a slight marijuana trace on him. If y'all smoke marijuana, the only thing you're going to do is sit down and watch TV, bullshit with your friends, and eat people out of house and home. That's what I think. That there was a young Bokor was tweaking his skills. Now, I don't know, think about it. I mean, if you're a drug dealer, somebody like that, crime lord or something, and there was a way that you can go to somebody and pay $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 to get rid of your enemy by the police, or the reason they was running around with no clothes on, their body temperature was rising exponentially. Every minute your temperature rose. These people was only going to live, if they didn't get killed by the police, for about 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, before they had a massive stroke from the heat inside their body. That's why I took the clothes off. They're trying to cool their body down. I don't know where the part of eating the face came in the process. I'm not sure. But I do know why I took the clothes off. Zombies are supposed to be with superhuman strength. Okay? They're not of their right mind no more. In both cases, Rudy Eugene and the other guy was shot and killed by the police. That was my thing. Everybody was yelling it was bath salt, bath salt. Bath salt would show up in the toxicology. I think it was a young Bokor in Miami that was sharpening his skills up. Now, Either he laid back until somebody could come up with the price to pay him. Because if a Bokor had that and somebody comes and I'll give you $100,000, get rid of Miami. It's clean. Here you go. This is how you introduce it. Don't get it on you. It has no conscience. One, the police will kill them, or two, they're going to die anyway from the fever. Like I said, I don't know what the idea was, chewing of the face. In both cases, Rudy Gene, the other guy, chewed on the young boy's face. I don't know where that came from out of the process. But like I said, I do know the process of taking the clothes off, trying to cool their body down. Because being inside their clothes, it was like, in effect, being in the oven, their clothes was insulated. They was cooking themselves inside their clothes. So that's my take on zombies. That's about as far as it goes. I mean, it's something that was passed down. It takes a lot of scientific things to do. There's special veves that has to be drawn. There's special spirits that have to be called. There's special things that have to be gotten. It's a long process to make the powder. And then to make the narcotic after the powder if you want them to be a slave. Okay? So that's my take on it. And if people was talking about the new thing we had in Miami with Rudy Eugene and that other guy, that's what I think. That it was a young Bokor that was trying his skills out. And I said, I don't know where the chewing in the face came from. Part of the byproduct, I don't know. I know why the clothes being taken off. That I am sure of. There's an autopsy. They said they was reading a body temperature that was almost off the scale already, and they was already dead. So you'd have died anyway. Probably while you were still being processed from stroke. Your body temperature got to the point you just cooked everything inside, and on your body temperature get up high enough, the fluid in your cranium will boil. So that's my take on it. I don't know why everybody's so interested in zombies. If you have any comments, put them at the bottom. As always, like, share, and subscribe.